talking about, whether it's big surf or any kind of water, a warning to keep an eye on your kids when you're around any type of water. Anything out there, yeah. In fact, emergency crews around the valley responded to several possible drownings, although some of them ended up turning deadly, like this one here in Buckeye near 199th Avenue in Indian School. We're hearing a 5-year-old fell into a swimming pool at his home. Now, despite having a lot of people around, it was too late when the boy was finally discovered, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, we're also hearing about a near drowning at a children's pool party in Phoenix. We're told a 9-year-old was wearing floating devices at one point, but he didn't seem to have them on when he was found. Now, the little boy who was found lives just across the street from the house of the pool that he was swimming in. Police tell us the kids were playing around in the pool unsupervised at the time. Now, he was rushed to the hospital. Again, no word on how he's doing this morning. And unfortunately, a sad reminder of just how important it is, of course, yes, not just to keep an eye on your kids, but many other steps that you can take to prevent a drowning, because one is just too many. Absolutely. Yep. Phoenix Fire Captain Tony Muir is joining us right now to go over some of those safety precautions that we all need to know about, especially if you do even throw a party, to have someone there to at least watch all the kids that are swimming in that pool. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good, good. So let's talk about that. Whenever you have a party, what is a good way to make sure that somebody is supervising the kids in the swimming pool?
Well, as you said earlier, it's always a great idea to have a designated watcher to watch the children and adults in the pool. Quite often, some of the family members are using a designated t-shirt or a hat to know that they are significantly pointed out differently, that that's their sole job and you do not interrupt them. Many family parties hire a lifeguard that's off duty to have them as a designated water watcher. But you have to have somebody that is trained in CPR, has a cell phone, knows how to get in the water and swim and pull somebody out of that water. And their sole job is to watch everybody in that pool and not be distracted with conversations or eating their lunch or barbecue. Right. And then if you could talk about, Captain Muir, we talk about the ABCs of drowning prevention, from barriers to, like you said, CPR. Can you talk a little bit about that? Well, you know, we always want the best barrier possible is adult supervision. No matter how many fences you have or flotation devices, adult supervision is the #1 choice for preventing drownings. All drownings are preventable. But yes, we do have very strict city codes on pool fences and self-closing gates. In this incident that happened yesterday, some of the details, this child had some type of flotation water wing devices. The child had them on and off at various times. Those devices sometimes can slip off or deflate. Again, having adult supervision right there at the critical moment can literally save a life. Captain Muir, what have you seen that works the best for kids that don't know how to swim but still want to play in the water because their brothers and sisters are playing in, because their friends or other kids, say in the neighborhood or so, are playing? As you mentioned, the fact that the floaties are not a good life-saving type of thing to have on your kids. Exactly. I mean, in my own personal experience, I have 4 boys, and I have 2 little ones that are in that stage of learning how to swim. We do have flotation devices with them, but the best is one-on-one contact adult and child supervision, and so I'm in the pool with my boys at all times. So if they do get submerged or go underwater, I can grab them immediately. So in addition to just having somebody on deck, on the cool deck watching, somebody should be in the water with those children that are not strong swimmers. All right, great advice, and unfortunately we need to remind folks, obviously, in light of what's happened over the last 24 hours. Captain Tony Muir with Phoenix Fire, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. All right, thank you.
Connecting Arizona, live from the 12 News studios at 200 East Van Buren. This is 12 News Today.
Several tragic reminders on this Labor Day weekend of what can happen when you take your eyes off of kids around water. 2 children and 1 adult drowned in just the past 48 hours. The latest incident happened last night in a backyard pool in Mesa during a party where the victim and her parents were visitors. First responders say a 3-year-old girl was left unsupervised and later found at the bottom of the pool where other people were swimming. Girl was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Just 24 hours earlier, we had 4 other incidents involving drownings or near drownings, 3 involving children. A 2-year-old in Mesa was found breathing but unconscious in a spa. Later, a 41-year-old man drowned in the Salt River. Then a young boy nearly drowned at a birthday party in North Phoenix when adults left 6 kids alone in the pool. And at a barbecue in Buckeye, a 5-year-old boy died after he was found face down in the water. Detectives say in that case, adults lost track of him. All of these tragic reminders to please watch children around water.
This is ABC 15 News.
3 drowning calls involving children mark a deadly and dangerous beginning to our Labor Day weekend. A child in Buckeye has died. Another in Phoenix is just hanging on. And the 3rd from Mesa is lucky to be alive. Thank you for choosing us. I'm Susan Casper. Today's tragedies touching families from all across our valley. ABC 15's Steve Cooge is covering the near drowning of a boy in Phoenix. But let's begin with Navita Fergani in Buckeye. Navita, we understand a young boy there has died.
Yeah, Susan, this is an extremely sad end to what was supposed to be a fun day with family and friends. Family still right here at the hospital after a 5-year-old was found face down in a backyard pool. I'm told there were a lot of people at the house and they just simply lost track of the boy. Investigators have no idea how long the child had been in the water before he was found, but he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Family in grief in the lobby of the ER after they just got the worst news anyone could possibly get. Now, this is just another example of how important it is to keep an eye on your kids.
If you're going to have a group around, take the initiative to designate somebody and say, you know, you're in charge of these kids, or you're in charge of this one individual, but make sure somebody is keeping an eye on those children at all times.
And Susan, you might think that this will never happen to you, but water does not discriminate. It chooses all of its victims, and first responders see an increase in these types of calls, especially during the holiday weekend. Susan?
Absolutely. It's so difficult to watch the family there reacting to that news. Navita, thank you. Another trial just barely hanging on to life tonight in Phoenix. ABC 15's Steve Cooge spoke to that child's family. And Steve, I understand this all started what was supposed to be a pretty happy celebration today.
It was at a birthday party, Susan. This 10-year-old boy is still in very critical condition tonight, although his uncle tells me doctors at the hospital were thankfully able to get the child's heart beating again. The problem now is they're not sure how much damage was done to his brain. This was at a birthday party, and the child didn't know how to swim. That's why he was supposed to be wearing floats on his arms. The problem, though, other kids at the party told me the boy took them off. He sank to the bottom of the pool, and nobody noticed. Firefighters tell me this happened in a backyard where 6 children were swimming in the pool during the birthday party. The adults, they were inside the house while these kids were playing and splashing around unsupervised. It was other children in the pool who saw the 10-year-old boy at the bottom unconscious, and they pulled him out. The child was likely only under the water for a few minutes, but the fire department told us no one at the house knew CPR, which meant it wasn't until a while later when paramedics finally arrived that any kind of life-saving measures were performed. I spoke to one of the kids who was in the pool at the time this boy went under.
Who noticed that? Who was at the bottom of the pool first?
I did.
What did you say?
I said nothing because I thought he was playing. I hope you get well soon and hope that never happens again.
There's a lot of people, friends and family, who are praying for this child to make a quick recovery. Hopefully he's going to be okay, but still in critical condition, Susan. Rescuers on the scene tell me there was a lot of confusion during these types of incidences, which is why adults need to be supervising at all times, and you just can't only depend and rely on flotation devices to keep your kids safe.
Yeah, we always stress, Steve, the ABCs of water safety. Of course, A being for adults, B for barriers, and C for classes. We appreciate that. A similar scene playing out in Mesa, but this one with much better results. A 2-year-old boy found unconscious in a backyard spa. This happened at a home near US 60 in Superstition Springs. Rescue crews say the child was breathing when they arrived. He was taken to a Valley hospital as a precaution.